The following podcast is a production of the Podpire Network. Find and listen to our podcasts at thepodpirenetwork.com or wherever you enjoy your podcast. The Podpire Network, a family of inspired podcasts.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to Enabling Motion, the podcast where we bring you the inspiring technology that keeps people moving. I'm Sibel Mufti, and I'm going to talk about a paraplegic that kicked off the 2014 World Cup today.
Hi all, Marc here. Today I'm going to be talking about artificial muscles that might soon be giving prosthetic limbs some much needed gains.
Hello, and I'm Owen, and today I'm going to be talking about the only knee brace on the market that reduces the forces in all three knee compartments.
So today our ads are paying for a very special occasion to fund Owen and Sibel and I's trip to the ISPO World Congress in Guadalajara, Mexico in 2023. If for those of you that don't know, ISPO stands for the International Society of Prosthetics and Orthotics. The World Congress next year is going to be a conglomeration of professionals in the P&O field and keynote speakers presenting on very relevant and interesting topics from around the world. The theme next year is going to be the art and the science. Now, ISPO is not our sponsor. We're just very excited about it. We just want to promote and spread knowledge of this event. We hope that others listeners are going to be able to join, and we hope that we'll be able to get out there as well.
All right, thank you everyone for taking a moment to listen to those ads. We're all very excited for Mexico. Did you know that the 2014 FIFA World Cup in Brazil was kicked off by a paraplegic? It really didn't get the attention it deserved, but it was a huge moment. On 12th June 2014, Juliana Pinto, a 29-year-old paraplegic, stood in a full-body exoskeleton device and kicked the first ball of the tournament, using only his brain signals through an EEG cap. This live demonstration, outside of a lab environment, of a cutting-edge technology with so many complex systems working together is no small feat. The team was led by Professor Miguel Nicolelis, a neuroengineer based at Duke University in North Carolina, under the International Walk Again Project. The Walk Again Project defines itself as a multinational collaborative effort to free paralyzed patients from the confines of their physical bodies through breakthroughs in neuroscience. Led by the Duke Center for Neuroengineering at Duke University in the US, Walk Again is developing a high-performance, brain-controlled prosthetic device that enables patients finally leave the wheelchair behind. Quite the goal.
Just hearing what their mission statement was, I don't know where this is coming from, but I'm just remembering it sounds so much like that movie with Bruce Willis, like Surrogates, like all about people leaving the confines of their physical bodies. Now, that didn't have a great message, but I'm glad that this company does, this organization does.
Much more positive. Yeah. Absolutely. And these guys are predecessors to a lot of the stuff we've been talking about on the podcast this season. To achieve this, they built two critical technologies. They had to develop the exoskeleton, which is the robotic system that needs to work safely with the biomechanics of the user, and the brain signal acquisition analysis for the user to control the device. While it's an older project for sure, I thought it was worthy of an honorable mention because it left a big impact on me 8 years ago, and it helps us see the pace of progress and also appreciate the eternal appeal of this field and how inspiring it is to help people regain their mobility. And in some ways, it's the predecessor, as I said, to a lot of the technologies we've been talking about on Enabling Motion.
I really love this about a trend that I've been seeing a lot is these solutions for spinal cord injuries as well, which I think is very exciting. And watch the video of this kickoff. The excitement in the face of the guy who's using it.
Yeah.
It makes me really happy to watch.
Also watch Surrogates starring Bruce Willis as Tom Greer.
That's not a prerequisite for this at all.
Oh, man. Thanks, Mike.
All right. I'm going to take over from you there. A major hurdle in current bionic limbs is their capacity to generate the types of force that organic limbs are able to generate. For lower limb prosthetics, it isn't as big of an issue because we can utilize energy storing and returning designs like the running blades that I'm sure we've all seen. With legs being a bit bigger than our upper limbs, we can also use bigger motors for power devices without them being unnaturally bulky. For upper limbs, it's a bit more tricky, and we have the added issue of wanting to be able to pick things up and hold onto them. This means that we have to find a way to create strong fingers without losing the small size or range of motion. Organic limbs are able to generate impressive forces considering their size, due to a few important features. For one, our bodies utilize the mechanics of levers, where muscles generate forces on our bones perpendicular to the longitudinal length of the bones, especially in long bones. A second key feature is the hierarchical organization within our muscle tissue, with thousands of little molecular games of tug-of-war going on within a single muscle cell, and the biceps brachii, for example, of a young adult male containing upwards of 200,000 muscle cells. Hundreds of pounds of force can be generated here. So, we need to find a way to generate these forces while maintaining a small size and flexibility. Well, a team at the University of California, Los Angeles has devised an interesting solution. They've made artificial muscle using what are called dielectric elastomers. Now, an elastomer is a type of material like rubber that is composed of long chains of molecules that can recover their original shape after being deformed. In a dielectric elastomer, the rubber material is fit between two flexible electrodes that, when voltage is applied, act as a capacitor whose voltage gradient will pull the electrodes together and compress the rubber. When this happens, the rubber can then act as an actuator, and this component can effectively turn electrical energy into mechanical energy, a function shared by the cells of our muscles. Now, dielectric elastomers have been an area of interest in engineering and soft robotics for some time, but the team at UCLA have made some creative improvements to the fabrication process that would make them a more viable solution for large robotics like bionic limbs. Current elastomer actuators are typically made from silicone or acrylic. The silicone is flexible but can't withstand the levels of force that would be useful. Acrylic is stronger but doesn't have the same flexibility. The team here did some tweaking and changed the cross-linking between the acrylic resin polymer chains to make their elastomers softer and more flexible. By treating it with acrylic acid, they were also able to up the number of hydrogen bonds, which effectively makes the material more pliable. The team also implemented thinly cut layers of dry resin and cured it with UV light instead of the commonly used layering of liquid resin. Layering pools of liquid resin can lead to an uneven thickness of elastomer and makes for a less effective actuation. The dielectric elastomer sheets are incredibly thin, coming in at 35 microns, which is thinner than human hair. But they can be stacked up to emulate real muscle. Incredibly, when stacked, these actuators can generate more megapascals of force than organic muscles, and were shown to be 10 times more flexible. So, when the cyborgs do take over, we really don't stand a chance. I'm going to throw us to some ads that will help us pay for a suitcase big enough to fit me and Sibel in, and potentially a margarita.
There are tens, if not hundreds, of different types of knee braces on the market. One of the most common types of knee braces are known as offloader braces, which, as the name suggests, offload the pressure on one side of the knee to the other side. For people who have unilateral arthritis, this is a great solution, taking the pressure off the bad side and reducing pain. However, for people with arthritis on both sides of the knee, the offloader style of brace may not be sufficient. Today, I'm excited to talk about another local company right here in Halifax, Nova Scotia, that are looking to solve this problem, Spring-Loaded Technology. Founded in 2012, the company went through 5 years of designing, testing, and researching before releasing their first product, the Levitation 1, in 2017, and later an improved version, the Levitation 2, in 2019. So what sets the Levitation apart from other knee braces? First, you should know that the knee is made up of 3 compartments: the medial tibiofemoral, the lateral tibiofemoral, and the patellofemoral compartments. Each compartment has a point of contact between 2 bones. This would be the area that arthritis could develop. Now, a study done at the University of New Brunswick found that the levitation knee brace reduces forces across all 3 of these compartments by over 40%, which in turn means less pressure on the knee, which will reduce pain for osteoarthritis patients. I should also mention that the levitation knee brace is the only brace to offload all 3 compartments simultaneously. So how does this product work? There are patented liquid springs located above the knee on the knee brace. These springs store energy as the knee is bent and release that energy when the knee is extended, increasing mobility and reducing pain. The strength of these springs can also be controlled to the user's preference with a dial that's located on the lateral side of the knee brace, making sure that there's never too much resistance during knee bending. Finally, I just want to mention that the levitation knee brace can also benefit those with meniscus and ligament injuries. So this is a product that's designed and made for a wide variety of patients.
It's really cool. A liquid spring.
Yeah, it's patented by spring-loaded technology, and they have not shared what it's made of.
It sounds like an energy drink.
Yeah,
I guess so.
Liquid spring.
Liquid spring.
Put a spring in your step with liquid spring.
Also for our non-North American listeners, Nova Scotia is a place in Canada.
Nova Scotia, Halifax, Nova Scotia, Canada, Earth. All right, so I guess it's time for us to talk about our favorites for the week. Our last favorites of the season, it would be...
Ooh.
But not last episode, and we'll get to that after we choose these.
Yes, but not the last episode.
Yeah, I mean, I think that mine with an exoskeleton for a paraplegic in 2014
yeah, but that's not how this works,
Cup is a pretty strong
you don't get to
contender.
pick your own.
I'm just putting it forward, guys. I'm just putting it forward. I'm not picking my own. I'm putting it forward. I'm making a case here. I'm not picking it. I'm just making a case. I'm making a case. That's all. On my end, I'm gonna go with the rubber muscles. Marc's rubber muscles.
That's what I would have picked too.
They're just really cool. Okay, Marc. All right.
Well, it's cool. I learned a lot about this whole concept of elastomers and dielectric elastomers researching this, and it's very fascinating. So I would choose that too. I'm gonna have to pick yours, Sibel, because you employed ethos very well in this topic, and it's heartwarming. And so I'm gonna you touched on my emotional side, and so I'm picking that one.
Yeah, I am the kingmaker again, but similar to, I think, the last time Sibel won, he got me to talk about one of my favorite topics. Last time I think it was Just Dance. This time it was Bruce Willis. So I'm going to be picking
Bruce Willis is your favorite, one of your favorite topics.
I do also want to. Yeah.
Is there a Bruce Willis shrine?
I do also want to again to recommend watching that video. It is very incredible to see. No, not the movie.
That movie?
The video of the kickoff.
The video of Bruce Willis?
Yes, yeah.
The kickoff. Yeah, the kickoff is it's really impressive
to see that done, and then also to just keep in mind like where the technology was at that point. Yeah, like
2014.
Yeah.
That's 8 years ago. It's crazy. It's so interesting to see. Like we went from there to like last week we talked about the implants, and now we're like basically bypassing spinal injuries, or we're looking at completely different systems. It's fascinating.
Very cool.
It's
so I want to also
I picked you.
Owen, what's your choice?
Yeah, you picked you.
Yeah.
Oh, yay! I'll win.
So
I'll win.
I want to also preface this is our last episode where we are going to be delivering topics to you guys, but episode 10 in a couple weeks is going to be more of a season finale where we recap some of our favorite ideas and concepts, go over some common trends that arose, and we're also going to tally up who won all the episodes and
who won all the weeks.
Find out who the big winners are.
Yeah, who matters? So just to our listeners, so it's going to be a little more of us kind of talking just openly about different things and allowing ourselves the space to hypothesize about things. So thank you all. Looking forward to you guys joining us in the season finale. Thanks for listening. Message us on Instagram at Enabling Motion Pod. If you have any questions or thoughts, listen to us everywhere that podcasts are to be found. Thanks to the Podpire Network for having us, and we'll see you back in 2 weeks. Take care.